Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this video we're going to recap crude. Now we've come back to crude a few times throughout the weeks, and you'll notice that typically on Tuesday or even Wednesday I'll start talking about crude. Typically Tuesday because we come into that weekly cycle of volatility between the American Petroleum Institute number and the EIA, the Energy Information Administration number, and that creates a lot of times some volatility that we can capitalize on. But nonetheless, the trade is valid. In this case, the buys that we've been talking about persistently since June are valid on any pullback. We're just trying to find those days where we might actually get the pullback, trying to use some events to get some volatility to get our lows, to get our buys, right? So it's kind of like one domino hit next. So today we had a really nice pullback in crude. And what we do in the room is we send out alerts. Now, what I like to do is send out alerts with typically plenty of time to consider the risk, consider whether you want to buy options on crude or whether you want to take advantage of the full-size futures contract. You know, a lot of traders ask me, well, Rog, do I have to trade the full-size contract? You know, it's not an inexpensive contract. For some traders, you know, who might be typically day traders who might keep, you know, maybe 7,500, 10,000, 15, maybe 20,000 in an account, to shift gears to overnight margin requirements like this, whether that be in the NASDAQ, whether that be in the crude oil market, in gold, shifting away from day trading margin to overnight margin is a significant one. Typically, it's going to be twice as much as day trading margin, and depending on your broker, it could be far more than that. All right. So a lot of traders, and I'm going to show you a little trick here some of the traders did with our entry today, and maybe that's something you can consider. So first of all, this is a trend following swing trade. Swing is for me synonymous with the retracement. The retracement and the alert that we sent out was here. Let me just copy and paste what we sent out here so you could see the trade. And, you know, if it comes back and tags it, it's still going to be something I'm willing to take. This was the trade. And by the way, this is the same trade we've kind of talked about if you've been following along in these videos for a while. All right, so this was a September crude buy the 40.35 to 40.30 aggressive. Moderate was 39.65 and conservative was 38.85. Now you might say, well, Rog, 3 different levels. Yes, because I like to scale into trades, and I like to scale into trades with my smallest position or even an options position at the aggro. Moderate will be slightly larger a position, whether that be the underlying futures or more options. And then finally, conservative will be my largest position. So you guys know exactly where you can engage the market based on your risk tolerance. For some traders in the room, the conservative was the only one to take. It had essentially a 20 tick stop, and then later on I actually moved it down to 45. So later on I asked the traders, because the way that we were selling off, go ahead and move the stop just another 20 cents. Now it didn't matter, neither got touched, but I just want you guys to know what I sent out to the members. So this is what we then adjusted just a little bit later on. If you wanted to take this as a day trade, I gave them some targets, and we talked about also moving the stop. And that was this one right here. Now, that brings up another interesting topic. Okay, Rog, I don't want to be in a contract where I'm going to need $6,800 per contract to take it overnight. I'd rather take 2 or 3 contracts as a day trade and try to get out by the end of the day. And that's fine. So that's actually what some of our traders did. They focused on the moderate and the conservative levels, either with the QM mini, the CL full size, or with options on the full size CL. And then they took advantage of nearer targets so they could get out by the end of the day. Now that does keep traders from following a longer term trend. And I've been in this trend now for about 2 weeks, and I'm just, you know, playing each pullback as it comes along. I'm just kind of rolling higher. This is literally what I'm doing. I'm rolling higher, you know, with each pullback. That's kind of the way that I look at that. Now, if you want to play just today's candle as a day trade, no problem. And again, I want you to realize there's a reality of trading something as a day trade and then taking something overnight. And as the mentor, as a leader in a chat room, partly, and even for myself, I've got to make sure that everybody knows, well, if you want to take this as a day trader, you have the luxury of a larger position size, less margin requirement, but what are you in a race against? Sure, you need the market to follow through, but you're actually in a race against time. And that's something day traders need to consider. You're in a race against time, not just your stop loss and getting to your target, but now you need that to happen in a fairly small period of time in a session before your day trading margin increases. So these are some of the things to think about. But if you've been following along with me over the past few weeks, you know that crude's been a market, double green market, that we want to be buyers and pullbacks, and this is exactly what I'm doing. So again, let me show you the setup here. There we go. Let me show you the setup there, and that's what I'm doing right there. Okay. That's the crude alerts. That's what I'm going to continue to manage this as an overnight trade now going into tomorrow. All right. Hope that helps. Hope that gives you a little flexibility, some things to think about with overnight and day trading margin, and use which is right for you. There's a lot of flexibility. As I like to say, trading can be very much a choose your own adventure. You guys remember those books? I love those books as a kid. Choose your own adventure. And that's really what you need to do with your trading to customize it, to make it right for you. Hope that helps. I'll see you in the next update.